everyone, and welcome to Avondale University's Open Day for the School of Nursing. My name is Erin.
And I'm Kerry.
And we are so glad that you're joining us here this afternoon. If you have any friends that you think should be watching this as well, text them to get online now. We have heaps of exciting things planned for you throughout our time here together today.
And as we get started, we humbly acknowledge our Creator God. We also respectfully acknowledge the Awabakal and the Gurangai people, who are the traditional custodians of the lands where Avondale has its campuses. We acknowledge the elders past, present and emerging, and we welcome any other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders who are joining us today.
If you are considering studying nursing at Avondale, we want to give you as much information as possible to help you make an informed decision. Today, you're going to hear from students, academics, and past alumni.
You'll also learn why our students recently nominated us the #1 Bachelor of Nursing program in Australia. If you're wondering how we achieved it, hang around and we'll tell you a bit later in the show.
And if you do have questions this afternoon, please write them into the chat and we'll work on answering them throughout our show. Hey, Kerry, we've got some quizzes this afternoon, our first one.
All right, so throughout the show, we're going to ask you a few quiz questions. We're starting with a classic, the more you know, Nurses Edition, multiple choice question. The question is, the immune system includes such structures as A, lymph nodes and thymus, B, pancreas and liver, C, adrenal glands and kidneys, and D, adenoids and tonsils. Choose your letter corresponding with the appropriate answer. It is a classic multiple choice question. What do you think, Erin?
It is. Well, I can't say that C is always right in this one.
You got to pick something other than C. And if you were to have chosen, let's reveal our answer. If you chose A, lymph nodes and thymus, you would be correct. But you would also be correct if you chose adenoids and tonsils. They are also part of the immune system. Normally, we wouldn't give you two correct answers. Your adenoids and tonsils can be removed. Do you still have yours, Erin?
Yes, I do.
Me too. So we'll include them. They're all part of the immune system there. All right, you don't have to know the answers to all of these, but if you come and do nursing with us, we promise you'll know them by the end of the degree.
I love those right answers coming up there in the chat. A, yes, A is correct, and it's great to have you guys watching along. What I would just like to ask in the chat as well is, can you put in, please, where you're watching from? Yes. What is your closest town? I know that not everyone, because we're doing it in an online forum, is going to be within driving distance of Avondale. It's very exciting to be online.
Yeah, good work.
Now, throughout this chat as well, we do want to encourage you to write any questions that you may have. And there's a question, Kerry, that we often get asked, and that is, what subjects should I have studied at high school to get into a Bachelor's of Nursing? Is there anything that's a prerequisite?
No, there's no prerequisite high school units, but if you've studied any science in senior high school, that would be a help. But we do assume that everybody's starting from the beginning when they come into our degree. So you'll be learning anatomy and physiology and a number of other science subjects as part of your studies.
Awesome. I always found in high school, I did biology and PDHP and they were very useful. I'm just loving watching where everyone's tuning in from. Yeah, Central Coast, Sydney, Brankston out there, Hornsby, Northern Beaches. Loving it, guys. All the way down to Victoria. Fabulous. So students come to nursing for a variety of reasons, and some really feel the desire to want to care for others. Others have had a sick family member and they've witnessed good nursing themselves. Some may want to make a difference in their work and really feel that satisfaction from helping someone transition from a place of sickness into a place of healing. So for me, I loved how the human body worked when I was growing up. And then really felt called to come alongside patients at a time when they were very vulnerable and scared, and being able to be that safe, friendly face that walks into the room and helps them through their place of healing. So we're going to watch a video right now from a current student, and then we're going to ask Maddie a couple of questions. She's a current student at Avondale, about what drew her into a career in nursing.
First, let's see Emma. Emma's our video student.
Hi, I'm Emma and I'm studying nursing at Avondale University College. I'm excited to be working with people, to be in a profession where I get to have a positive impact on people's lives. The facilities are awesome. So I'm about to show you one of the nursing labs on the Sydney campus. Here we have a whole bunch of different patients that we can practice and learn things on. Last week we learned how to make beds with somebody in it. That was pretty interesting, I enjoyed that. I'm keen to learn how to give needles. I think that'd be really fun. I'm learning how to care for the whole person, holistic nursing, their physical health, the mental health and spiritual health. In nursing you can do so many different things, and who knows what I'll be doing in 5 years or 10 years, and it could change between different areas of nursing. I think the community at Avondale is what makes it so enjoyable. Doing sport, I've joined every single sport team I can. Even just like on your way to class, if a lecturer sees you, they'll stop you and they'll have a chat and they'll ask about your weekend and ask how you're going and see if you need any help with anything. And I think that just shows like the personal level that Avondale provides when it comes to your study. Thank you. Because not only are you in like awesome classes, but they want you to succeed and they want you to be the best nurse that you can be.
Hey, Maddie.
Hey, what a great video. That was awesome.
Wasn't it?
Great?
I love that. And I love it's got our cafe down the road. We've got our campus there, the Sydney campus, and our Avondale Lake Macquarie campus as well.
Yeah, it's a good snapshot of both campuses. Hey, Maddie, we'd really love to know why you chose to become a nurse and also why you chose to do nursing at Avondale. Reckon you could give that a go?
Yeah, of course. So starting off with why I wanted to be a nurse. I have wanted to be a nurse since I was a little girl. I loved the idea of learning about the body, just like Erin. And I really love the idea of helping people based and individually based. So as a nurse, you can kind of have your own patients, but then you've also got a ward around you or people around you who are helping you and supporting you. I think that's just awesome. Avondale. Now my sister is in 3rd year, so I got a little bit of an inside scoop on how much she enjoyed Avondale. But for me, I loved high school, and what I found is that I was with the same people for several years. I saw the same faces every single day. I saw teachers that knew me well, and I saw students that knew me well. And that was really important for me to have in a uni experience. I want to be able to walk into the doors of Avondale and see a face and be able to say hi and ask about the weekend or how their studies are going or what assignment they're stressed about. And I thought Avondale could really facilitate that for me. It being on the smaller side, it's so great. And they said, she's able to walk up to a lecturer and have a smile or have an interaction, and you're not a number. I think that really hit me. Is I am Maddie. I have a personality, and that's recognised at Avondale, and that helps me to network, build relationships, and build connections. So yeah, that was the big reason why I picked Avondale.
That's awesome. Thank you.
I love that. Maddie, thank you for sharing. Just a question for you. What year are you in, and what has been a standout experience in your study so far of nursing?
I'm in 2nd year. I'm coming to the end of 2nd year, actually. The big standout was the atmosphere. That was huge. I recognised it on day one, and it was something that someone told me in my orientation of Avondale is it's a community. It's a community. You will get to know people. You will make friends. Your lecturers will know you by name. And that was evident from day one. I walked into the campus and a 3rd year student came up to me and said, "Hey, welcome to Avondale. I hope you enjoy your studies here." And just walked past and it was just, "Oh, great, okay." And it was just that
That's
sort
awesome.
of welcoming nature. Yeah, that was really evident as soon as you stepped through the doors.
And what about while we've been in this online environment? Is it still possible for that to happen?
Absolutely. So in my tute groups and in a lot of my lectures, cameras are on, people are interacting, people are cracking jokes. I'm asking 40-year-old mothers how their sons are doing because I know, because of students every day. Asking them, how's your placement? How's nursing going for you? How's your job going? And even having off uni Zooms and doing like little games nights and little catch-ups has been really special. And it's something that I've really cherished about being at Avondale. And little things like I remember in my 1st year, one of my good friends who had met on day one, she was giving a presentation, and she was really nervous. She really, really didn't like public speaking. And without any hesitation, when she started to get a bit upset, the class went, "We've got you," and just started speaking words of affirmation and encouragement. And we all turned around so she could do her presentation.
Well, Maddie, are you still there with us? I think the internet's just jumping a little bit as you were making that final comment there.
Right. I love what Maddie was talking about. So we have small enough class sizes that students all get to know each other. And so if someone's struggling, they can step in and help each other. They can provide support to one another, either in person or in Zoom. For Story, I'm sure she can stick around and answer any questions if you wanted to put them in the comment for her as a current student. So there's lots of different things that you can do with a nursing degree. So let's have a look at a little video which shows you some of the places that a degree could take you. Hey, Tamara.
Hi, Kerry. Good to see you.
Hi,
and
Tamara.
Erin.
Hello.
Great that you could join us. Everybody, this is Tamara Gosling. She's the head of school for our nursing program at Avondale. Tamara, we're wondering if you could help us out with a couple of things. You love nursing and you love Avondale. Tell us what it is about our degree program that is so unique.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Kerry. And hi, everyone. Welcome to our open day. Great to have you on board. I think what makes us really special is our holistic approach to our nursing students' learning journey at Avondale. It's unique because we not only facilitate the study program in terms of the academic side of things, but we really care about you as a person. So we have lots of supports in place. We're here to support your well-being, so whether that's our counsellors and chaplains and the special programs that you can be involved in with our great ANSWER group, which is our Nursing Student Association. They're there to support you through fun activities, and whether it's barbecues and social activities or spiritual support. We also have great supports with our staff, so we have quality learning with our library and our support staff for academic writing if you need some help with writing assignments, or we have maths tutors if you need help with maths calculations. And of course, our dedicated, friendly teaching staff like Erin and Kerry, who are there in the classroom and in the nursing laboratories. And I can keep going on. We've got great staff that support you when you're on clinical placements, our facilitators.
We've got a lot going for us.
Yeah,
Avondale has been around for a long time, so over 120 years. And we started out as a training school, we've been a college, we've been a college of higher education, and now we're a university. What does that say for the quality and the the accreditation of our degrees?
Yeah, so we're proud of providing a high quality Australian nursing degree, one that's evidence-based and it reflects contemporary nursing and health practices. But I'd like to say it's also a holistic degree where you learn to consider whole needs of a person so that you can provide safe, effective and compassionate nursing care. So yeah, our degree is fully accredited with the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Accreditation Council. It's been approved by the Nursing and Midwifery Board, so you can register at the end in Australia. And as I said, lots of supports along the way. So we really are aimed at providing a quality holistic degree. And we think that's how we like to treat you as students as you come on board. And we'd love to welcome you on a learning journey in nursing here at Avondale.
Thanks so much, Tamara.
Yeah, thank you for sharing light just on that holistic support service that is around our students. We know that students are not studying in isolation, and so when they're trying to balance, potentially they're coming back to study for the first time after being away from the books for a long time. They might be mature age, they might have had English second language difficulties, and just all those academic supports and counselling networks. We just really appreciate you sharing some of those with us here this afternoon. Thank you, Tamara.
Great, thanks.
Thank you. So please visit nursing.avondale.edu.au for more information and to download our course guide for either yourself or maybe you're downloading it for someone that you know. Remember to stay tuned until the end of our Open Day program to learn why our students ranked us #1 in Australia across all categories last year. Kerry, I think it's time for another quiz question. What do you reckon?
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready with a quiz question. The more you know, nurses. Let's go. So, question number 2. Which muscle type is considered voluntary? Is it your skeletal muscles? Is it your cardiac muscle? Is it the epimysium or is it the smooth muscle? Which of those muscle types would be considered voluntary? Now, I'll be honest, Erin, I had to look up epimysium. How did you go with that one?
Oh, well, look, if we're talking about voluntary muscles, so epimysium is the sheath of fibrous elastic tissue that surrounds the muscle. And I don't really have to think about my heart pumping, so that would make the correct answer if you're following along at home.
You've eliminated the incorrect answers, which leaves us, of course, with the skeletal muscle, the muscle that makes your skeleton move. If you've got any friends and family that are scared of skeletons, tell them without muscles, it's no good. Can't go anywhere without the muscles. All right, nice work.
Some good guesses coming in the chat there and some good answers. We appreciate that you haven't gone through a bachelor's degree yet, so it's all right. You will know the right answer by the end of your degree.
Some of the ways of learning include not knowing to begin with and finding out the answer afterwards. It's all a valid part of learning.
Awesome. All right. One of these questions that's just come through in the chat. Kerry, let's answer some of those. There's a question here that's come in. How many students do you take per year in the course and what are the class sizes?
Okay, well, we take on average somewhere just north of 100 students a year, between 100 and 120 students per intake. But we keep our tutorial sizes quite small and manageable. So you need to be able to fit in our nursing lab and in our tutorial rooms. So we keep those to around the 25-person mark. So plenty of opportunity to interact. If you know anything about bigger universities than Avondale, you know, they can have 1,000 or more students in an intake. So what Maddie was talking about before in terms of being able to get to know everybody in your class, there's nothing wrong with going to a big uni, but if you're looking for that personal touch of knowing people's names, recognising the faces as you come to school, then having this smaller intake. So 100 is a very workable number. We can make the most of our time in the labs. We can make the most of our time individually with students and our support networks. So about 25 people in a tute group and about 100 to 120 in a class.
Excellent. Kerry, thank you so much just for answering that one there. And we've seen another question in the chat come through, and it's in regards to non-native speakers of English. We are going to touch on this a little bit later in the show when our advancement and finance team comes on and joins us. But just specifically while we're here at this time, so if English is not your first language and you haven't studied for more than 5 years in English, you do need to do an IELTS and to get 7.0 as a minimum across every band in that. But we'll talk about this more a little bit later on in the show.
If you went to school in Australia for at least 5 years, whether that was high school or even postgrad, so studying other things, if you've got the 5 years of studying English, then you don't have to do that exam.
Okay.
All right. So what are we doing now? Oh, excellent. We're going to have a chat with one of our alumni.
Very soon, after a video though. First, we've got a video because Avondale has just become Australia's newest university. Congratulations. So we're going to check out a video to hear what our staff and students had to say about this.
Welcome to Avondale.
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 Avondale College.
Avondale University College.
Avondale?
University.
Is it just university or do we say Avondale?
Avondale College, University College.
University.
Actually, Avondale, rather than being a university college, we are now a university.
Boom! At Avondale?
We're a Christian university.
University.
Australia's newest university.
And South Africa.
and whoa.
Oh, that's great.
Hello, PJ. Great to have you back. PJ is one of our returning students, so he has graduated. PJ, can you tell us a little bit about where your degree took you after your graduation, please? Oh, just check that you're...
Unmute there, mate. Unmute.
Terribly
This is
sorry.
everyone's
Good afternoon,
famous
everyone.
man.
You'd think
Hi,
after
PJ.
being on Zoom long enough, we'd know how I'd recognize to unmute myself before I started talking. But
Happens to everyone.
after I graduated Avondale, I spent some time working at Hornsby Hospital, which is just up the road. In my new grad year, I spent some time in the cardiology and respiratory ward and for my first rotation. And then in my second rotation, I spent 6 months on the orthopedic ward. Obviously, during that time, it got me to, it taught me what I was interested in doing and what I wanted to do. So after my new grad year, I continued to work on the general surgical ward. Since then, I've been able to be a acting CNE, whilst also...
Hang on. What's a CNE? We know what that is, but we're looking at prospective nursing students here.
No lingo
Terribly
here,
sorry.
mate.
A clinical nurse educator, where I was able to improve my clinical skills and manage both pre and post procedure patients. When the pandemic first hit, I was actually able to upskill and work within the intensive care unit to help look after more critically ill patients. And since then, I've actually moved to the information and communications and technologies side, where I've been part of a training team who is looking to pilot a project in both the Northern Sydney Local Health District as well as the Central Coast local health districts. And at present,
you're really putting together all of your various skills, PJ.
Oh, look, it's been fun, and I can't to say that Avondale hasn't prepared me for those sort of things. While talking with some of my lecturers, it'd be an understatement, because Avondale's lecturing staff, their teaching staff, there's so much experience there. We have people like you, Carrie, who have worked in mental health. You know, people like you, Aaron, who've worked in hematology. We have previous midwives. We also have people who work in public health. So we've also had someone who's worked on mercy shifts, which I thought was amazing. So when we think of nursing, we think of someone working in hospital. There's so many different avenues to explore with nursing, and it's the key that opens the door, really.
Absolutely. Would you say, you said that Avondale helped you to prepare for that. So, and you mentioned the various backgrounds of the staff that you've worked with. Mm-hmm. What about your clinical placements, the opportunities that you had while you were a student? Can you tell us a bit about those?
Sure. So for most of my clinical placements, I was able to work side by side with nurses, and they were able to tell me what they expected from me, and then what was expected from me as a new graduate nurse who was coming into the field. Avondale is great because they have the SAN right next to them, and it was amazing to see and work next to all the different kind of specialties. You know, I was able to work and see what the cath lab looked like. I know there have been different experiences where people have gone into theaters and stood and seen surgeries. I mean, Avondale's clinical experiences or clinical settings, you know, opportunities, that's right, are just so immense with having the Sydney Adventist Hospital right next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a great relationship to have with them.
Yeah, I loved what you touched on there, PJ, just about the diversity within your clinical placements and helping you to find your niche as you went along and trained, but also the location of Avondale, the Sydney campus. So everyone, if you're watching along at home, you have the option in your first year of studying either at the Lake Macquarie campus up in Cooranbong near Morisset, or down in the Sydney campus. But from your second and third year, everyone heads down to the Sydney campus there. because it's right next door to the Sand Hospital, and there you are training within that multidisciplinary team from the beginning of your time here at Avondale. So, PJ, when you began your job search, how did that process go for you? What were some key features?
So it's actually with Avondale, and I know Maddie touched on it earlier, the lecturers know who you are, you're a name, not a number, and having small class sizes. By the time third year rolls around, you're frantically wanting to make sure that your CV looks great. You answer the questions properly. And Avondale's, in one of Avondale's tutorial groups, we were able to sit down and look at the question and take time out to think. And after the tutorial, I was talking to one of the lecturers and I said, hey, can we set some time apart to just, practice my interviewing skills, and would you mind looking over my CV? And the great thing that I can't emphasize enough is that Avondale's lecturers are there to help the students as much as possible. This lecturer was able to sit down with me, run through some practice interview questions so that I could sell myself in person, and that I could also sell myself on paper with the CV with tiny adjustments that needed to be made.
That's awesome, PJ. You don't take much selling, brother. You came to Avondale as the kind of guy that we wanted. All we did was give you the tools to take out there into the world. We're very proud of you. If you were talking to someone who was thinking about where to study nursing, tell us what you would tell them about Avondale.
Oh, look, I think Maddie's sold it very well earlier. The small class sizes and the sheer number of just students in a classroom, while it isn't, a massive shoot group, you actually get to know each other. I have friends from uni who I still keep in contact with, and I see where they are, and it's been amazing. I had a friend who was working, in rural, remote Queensland, and then moving on, he's now in Alice Springs. Go and make the friends you can, because the people you make friends with here in uni, they last a lifetime. The second
we
thing,
saw a comment coming through the chat just a moment ago from someone saying that they did nursing at Avondale 11 years ago and they're still tight with that group of people that they studied with.
And that's the thing. The second thing I'd say to someone is, don't be afraid to ask the stupid questions. I mean, from my experience, I loved asking the stupid question, because I knew if I didn't have that answer, I knew someone else was thinking that same question. And with the lecturers there at Avondale, they'll take time out and say, hey, yeah, it's not a stupid question. It's totally valid, because you're not expected to know everything about the degree.
The only question I don't like is the one you don't ask, because you've got to get to that knowledge somehow, don't you?
That's it.
Absolutely. PJ, thank you so much for sharing with us this afternoon your experience. It is great to see you again and to hear where your nursing degree has taken you all over Australia as well. Congratulations to you, and thanks so much for nursing within our context.
If you've got any questions about the nursing program, it'd be great if you could head over to nursing.avondale.edu.au, sign up for the course guide. If you're a parent watching along, or you've got a sibling or a cousin that you think should be a nurse, get your hands on that guide. It will answer a lot of your questions, and it will hopefully lead you to considering Avondale.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, PJ.
See you, PJ.
See you. We are up to another quiz question, guys. At home, get ready. This is number 3. So, the more you know, Nurses Edition. Are you ready? Multiple choice. This is the easiest exam ever. Question number 3. A patient is ordered paracetamol 1 gram orally. Stock on hand is 500 milligram tablets. How many tablets should be administered? Put your answer in the chat. A, 1 tablet. B, 3 tablets. C, 2 tablets. And D, half a tablet. Your patient is ordered 1 gram of oral paracetamol. Paracetamol, Kerry, is also known as
Panadol and other brands.
Excellent. Yes. Our generic and trade names are very important in our pharmacology. And The key to answering this question correctly is knowing your conversions. So 1 gram is how many milligrams?
Let's see those answers in the chat. Don't be afraid.
I can see the correct answer coming through.
Good work,
Indeed.
Shireen. Good work, Ella.
Yes, Ella. Yes, Haley.
All right.
Brilliant.
Yes, let's have a look at the correct answer. It is, of course, 2 tablets.
See, 2 tablets.
500 milligram tablets to get to 1 gram. Because what's 500 plus 500?
1,000 milligrams,
Correct.
which is 1 gram.
Nice
Excellent.
work.
So
Right.
maths is so important though, because we are required to use maths every day for giving antibiotics and morphine and intravenous fluids and insulin. So this is part of
Absolutely.
not just the degree, but part of the rest of your career as a nurse. You will be required to have excellent math skills.
We will teach you how to do it, and we will regularly improve your skills around medication calculations and medication safety. So by the time you graduate, you're ready to be a year
Yes.
1 nurse, taking responsibility for those medications and keeping your patients alive.
Yes, yes. So there's a question that's come through in the chat that says, if you're in high school and wanting to go to Avondale, what subjects do you recommend doing in year 11 and 12? Do you know there are no prerequisites, but subjects such as biology, chemistry, PHBE, and math, some English in there will all certainly help you along in that transition into tertiary education, but no prerequisites.
Feels like a good time. You just mentioned it there, Erin, to do English. I know that high-level English is optional in the final years of high school in Australia now, but all bachelor degrees in Australia, whether it's nursing or engineering or anything that says bachelor of, you'll be required to do similar sorts of assignments. And that includes being able to write essays, including referencing, using good sources of literature. So people are often quite surprised at the academic content required for the Bachelor of Nursing. So anything that helps you to be able to express yourself, to be able to integrate the ideas of other people into your written work and to acknowledge those sources is really important. So the course is really split up into things where you'll be researching and learning and improving your head knowledge, and then ways that you'll learn skills and the application of those skills in clinical settings. And that'll be based on the evidence that you've gained through that research. So there's those 2 parts. There's doing the skills, but there's also learning about how we know that that's the right way to do the skills. So that academic portion is really important. So science is important, but so is the humanities part, and your written English expression is really important. So any combination of high school subjects is useful, but science and English, I would definitely pick a couple of those if you have the choice.
Yeah, and that's really what we see set registered nursing apart from AANs, so assistant in nursings, or ENs. It's that academic, that looking at the latest evidence out there to make a clinically accurate evidence-based decision within your practice. Kerry, we're just going to have a look right now at the subjects that are included within our Bachelor of Nursing degree.
Yeah, look, the subjects are broken into 2 types. So there are about half of the subjects or the units, we call them units. There's 4 units in a semester. There's 2 semesters in a year. So that's 6 semesters across a full-time degree. If you go part-time, we usually look at a half load, which means that could double the length of time. But so half of those subjects will be strictly academic. So you'll do essays and tutorial tasks and exams. And then the other ones have a mixed component of academic endeavours and clinical placement. So for all the clinical placement units throughout the degree, they start in 2nd semester. You start going on your early clinical placements. Initially, it's a couple of days. Then you go on placements that are a week or 2 weeks longer, through to in final year when you do weeks in a row, including rotating shifts as part of your clinical placements.
So rotating shifts, just to pick up on that, Kerry, rotating shifts means that there is 1 week in a 4-week block that involves night shift. Because do you know what? When nurses graduate and they work on the wards, you will be most likely participating in night shifts on that roster. So we do want to get you exposed to that as part of your training, so you can learn how your body responds and the best way to manage sleeping during the day as well. But I loved
you build up to that.
You do. But I loved, one of the reasons why I chose to come to Avondale and do nursing about 10 years ago myself was that from the second semester, we were at the aged care facilities, at the hospitals, doing placements. And so I really felt like if you wanted to wait until the prac to find out if your degree was for you or not, doing it inside that first year was optimal.
Absolutely. Look, we've done a fairly good job of telling people what the course is like. We've heard some from previous students and some current students. Probably people at this point are wondering how to get into the degree.
Mm-hmm.
Who should we talk to, do you think, Erin?
Well, I believe that someone from admissions and potentially someone from finance. So we would like to welcome to the screen Naomi and Christy as well. Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon, ladies. We do appreciate all the work that you do for our nursing students as they are making these very important decisions. We know that a lot of our Year 12 students, Naomi, want to know what ATAR do they need to get into the Avondale nursing program? What is that magic number?
Okay, the magic number is a minimum of 63 ATAR. However, if you don't get a 63, don't be disappointed because we can have other options for you. We have another pathway such as our Diploma of General Studies, which we accept students in with a 45 ATAR. Now, this is something where you can go and do, say, 6 months of this course. If you successfully pass everything in those 6 months, then you will go on and continue on into the Bachelor of Nursing that way. We also have what we used to call bonus points, but now we call them adjustment factors. For nurses, we are currently allowing up to 5 bonus points. So due to, say, COVID at the moment, where study has been pretty difficult and, under strain, we're just going to be giving you 5 extra bonus points if you don't get over that 63. So if you get a 58, that's going to get you in directly there. Some other pathways as well is a uni test and TOA. So this is another test that you can do. We also use it for mature age students as well. If you pass this test, that will get you into the degree too.
So you mentioned mature age students, Naomi. What about our students who come to us who already have an enrolled nursing qualification?
Yeah, we have so many come this way, and it's really great to see. So if you have a Diploma of Nursing already and you have your AHPRA registration, then this is going to get you in, but not only just get you in, it's going to give you 1 year's advanced standing or credit. So you'll start directly into your second year of nursing. So therefore only 2 years of nursing to go.
That's awesome. So once a prospective student applies, what will happen next? What's the admission process look like? And Christy, maybe you can take this one. What's it going to cost?
What's it going to cost? It's never an easy answer and never straightforward, but we try to make the journey as smooth as possible. The biggest investment into your future is the cost of your education. It gives you many choices and options and I guess different paths that you can go down in the future. We're fortunate at Avondale that we have Commonwealth supported places or CSPs for our eligible domestic nursing students. This is where the government has kindly decided to partially subsidise your fees, and you only ever have to pay the difference. The difference is called the student contribution amount, and the average standard cost for 2022 is $498. However, do keep in mind that some of the nursing units are a little bit more expensive, but it's a lot less than some of our other domestic students. Eligible students can access a help loan, so they can defer their student contribution to a loan till they finish studying, which does take some of the financial pressure off. Others do have to pay it up front, but we do everything with you to make sure that you can get over the line. The best place to see what you're eligible for how the loans work, when you need to start paying it back, what the threshold is going to www.studyassist.gov.au. It has all the information there. If there's things that you still aren't sure of, we're happy to answer them for you.
I just want to give a shout out to admissions and to finance. So like you've heard from our students, that lecturers are really available to talk to you and help you through the course. So are our professional staff. So any prospective student can ring and ask for information about the entry requirements and the cost of the degree, and you'll get really one-on-one targeted to your specific circumstances. The team will be able to help you out. Naomi, how do we actually get people to apply for our course?
All right, it's super easy. So all you need to do is go to our webpage. You'll see a yellow tab there which says apply now. Click on that one, go and register all your details. There's no need to upload any documents in this process whatsoever. So we just make it super easy. Put in your details. Once we get your application through, then that's when we're going to contact you by email and request any further documentation from you, such as certificates or diplomas or anything like that. And we will correspond with you all the way through email. So just make sure that you keep an eye on your email. And yeah, that's how we're going to deal with it.
That's awesome. Because it is confusing. People do wonder about the process. So thank you, ladies, so much for your willingness.
And one question as well, Naomi, there's been a shout out in the chat to you. I think you've got a fan watching.
Yeah.
But ladies, a question for you too. We do have a large international cohort that come through. They join us every year without fail. And what additional requirements, please, do these guys need to be aware of when applying to Avondale to study their nursing program?
Sure. So we spoke about it a bit earlier with the IELTS or a PTE. So we're going to require an English requirements test for you to be able to get in. The IELTS is a 7 over all bands, and PTE, I believe, is a 65 over all bands. We may need to work with you on an individual basis just to make sure that all the other requirements are met. But we're happy to do that, for you. Just contact us anytime.
And the help doesn't stop just with getting in. We try to take care of our international students. We give you opportunities to come to optional chats at lunchtime where you can practice your conversational English. You can look at things like our marking guides or our essay questions and make sure that you have the opportunity to dialogue with your lecturers, and with academic support. We have English language support hours available where you can book in and chat to one of our support staff so that you feel like you're on top of the requirements all the way through the course.
There is a question, ladies, that's come through in the chat asking about what dates do prospective students need to enrol by, please?
Ooh. I should know that off the top of my head, but I don't. Let me find out for you and I'll put it into the comments. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you for following up on that one.
Not a problem.
I think that the early enrolment link is open now. Anyone can put in their desire to enroll even before you have your final exam results. So just get on the board with us, say that you're interested. Admissions will follow up with you throughout and tell you when the actual closing dates are coming up. But if you register as a prospective student, even with no other documentation or evidence, we'll be able to follow up with you as those times come.
Excellent. There's been a question here about when does the semester begin? So that one we can help with, Kerry, because it's plastered all over our calendar. So for our first year students, it's the beginning of March that the semester begins. And then for our second semester, it begins at the beginning of August. So around August 2, 3, it changes depending on the calendar year.
And if you're a direct entry or a second or third year student, then you'll start in February. So just think a month earlier than the first years.
Yes. And just a response in the chat, thank you to our support staff who are online with us as well. Applications are now open for semester 1, 2022 as well.
That's right.
Excellent.
You don't have to wait to get your HSC or your TER or anything. You can put that application in now.
Wonderful. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It's been awesome just to pick your brains And just one question as well before we let you go. When do students find out if they have been accepted into the course? How are they notified, and how long does that process normally take?
Okay, so we don't have set dates like some other unis would do. So every application is an individual application. So once we have all the documentation back, that's when we contact you and let you know if you've got an offer. So again, it's by email. So always check those emails.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Ladies, thank you for your time. We will let you go because we're going to transition now into having a look at a video. If you need any additional encouragement, let's look at where a nursing degree has taken some of our past students and where they've gotten up to now. Thanks, ladies.
Thanks.
Hi guys, my name is Jim Solidio. I graduated in 2015.
My name's Carl and I graduated from Avondale in 2014.
There was more stuff that I was Amanda. I graduated Avondale in 2011.
I'm now a psychiatric registered nurse at Belmont Private in Brisbane.
I currently work in the critical care unit at Rudd Hospital, which consists of ICU and the coronary care unit.
I currently work in a general surgical ward, and next year I'm hoping to begin my postgraduate studies in acute care.
I'm Catherine in the Northern Territory, work as a registered nurse on the wards and get paid to be a student midwife and drink coffee.
Avondale has really prepared me for my career. I love nursing because it has given me the opportunity to serve God in this beautiful country, and I've travelled so much of it.
Currently I am in Guinea in West Africa on mercy ships, and I think nursing is awesome because you get to take it all around the world, which is awesome.
Best part of my job, being trained to be part of the rapid response team.
The fact that we had so much hands-on and practical learning.
Nursing, there's so many opportunities. It is what you make it.
Nursing is a great career and you'll have a fantastic time. You'll grow. Good luck, you guys, and hopefully I see you guys on the ward sometime. Take care.
Oh, I feel so proud when I see these guys. I love seeing where our alumni students have ended up. It does my heart good to see them. It brings a tear to my eye. Perhaps we'd better have our fourth and final quiz question, Erin.
We should, and let's do it. Guys, here is our final question of the More You Know Nurses Edition. Get ready. Question number 4 is, the rights of others to make their own decisions is known as A, confidentiality, B, privacy, C, autonomy, and D, authority. The rights of others to make their own decision is known as.
They all sound very important, Erin.
They do, and in fact they are all words that we need to be aware of as registered nurses. However, which defines the right of others to make their own decisions? That is the question.
Well, let's not keep people in suspense too long. The correct answer is, of course...
Really? C! It is C this time. Autonomy. Autonomy.
If
We
I'm
asked...
autonomous, I can make my own decisions.
Yes, Brandon and Kate and Sarah, well done. You did get that one correct. Guys, don't stress if you did not know the right answers to these quiz questions. You would certainly by the end of your nursing degree. And I've just seen a chat question there, Kerry, that's come through. Let us answer this one. It says, I have been accepted to start my first year part-time in 2022. Super excited. That's awesome. Really stoked to have you on board. The question is, what can I be doing now to prepare for that next chapter of life? Kerry?
Oh, that's a good question. I remember being in this position myself, knowing that I was going to start, but I had some time. So I was wondering, what can I do? How can I get ready? Chill out and relax, I would say. Don't worry too much about it. You don't need to start writing any of your assignments now or reading any textbooks. What I would do is just get involved in following nursing chat groups or following professional organisations and start reading about areas of nursing that are interesting to you. You don't need to do any pre-study unless you happen to find an anatomy and physiology textbook lying around the place, because those models in the labs take a lot of time, because it's rote learning. You've got to learn the body systems and the muscles and the bones and whatever. If you really wanted to fill your holidays, get in touch with your anatomy and physiology models. What would you add, Erin?
Look, I agree. Make hay while the sun shines and go on a holiday. Now sit in the hammock. Because we know that it will really heat up when uni starts, but it's an incredible chapter of life. It's lovely to be doing that journey alongside other people who are also passionate, and like PJ said, making friends for life. So yes, start dabbling with your toes in those nursing fields, so in chat rooms and things like that, but there's nothing that you can do academically that will get you ahead in that first year. I mean, it makes sense to get yourself set up with a good study space, computer system, and some stationery, but take a breather and just know that all the information will be fed to you when you need to know it.
And I would say that's really important, even for the people that aren't coming part-time. You know, if you're just finishing school now, your brain's pretty fried, you're pretty institutionalized from your years of high school. So really do take the opportunity to break hard, like look after yourself over year end, decompress, don't think about study, just put your application into Avondale Nursing and then take a break. Spend time with your siblings, with your dog, whatever, because the time will come where you'll need to bury your head in the books again. But just come to us in good shape and then we'll look after you the rest of the way.
Yeah, another question has come through here in the chat and it says, when do we find out our timetable for 2022? Good question. Obviously, people have work and, you know, spouse, family commitments. When is that information released to our students?
Our timetables are usually published in provisional shape a couple of weeks before the start of each semester. I know that sounds hard if you have a full-time job. It does take a little bit of juggling. We'll work really hard with our campus coordinators if you need to be put in a certain tute group, for example. So something to keep in mind is that our lectures are a mixture of compulsory and non-compulsory events, and our tutorials and workshops are all compulsory. So even once you get your timetable, you're able to have a look, see which are the modules or the activities that I need to be on campus or on Zoom for as a compulsory event. And then there's some other things that are a little bit more flexible. We advise coming to all classes, obviously. The more time that you can spend engaged with your lecturers and your peers, the better. But we know that a lot of people have a work life, they have children. At the moment, people are homeschooling their kids and trying to do uni as well. So we will work with you to make it possible. And sometimes that means choosing a particular tute group or scheduling your clinical placements for a certain time that doesn't conflict with your work. So if you know what your timetable is, then you can work with us when we publish our timetable to try and find the best match across those two competing interests in your life.
Awesome. Thank you just for shedding some light on what reality looks like when you are studying full-time there. So Gary, we did promise our viewers that we were going to share, there was a very exciting survey result that was published in regards to our students' feedback last year. Would you just talk a little bit about that, please, as we draw to the end of this program?
Absolutely. Look, we told you in the beginning that recently our Avondale students voted us #1 Bachelor of Nursing program in Australia. So that means that we're up against all of the other bigger unis. And what they do is ask graduates what their impression was of where they studied, and then they put together all of those results from the various unis, and we came out #1 in every indicator of satisfaction amongst current students and graduates. So there's 30 universities plus offering a similar course to ours, a Bachelor of Nursing program. So it looked at the quality of our educational experience, how good our teaching was, whether or not our learners, that's you guys, the students, how engaged they felt in their learning, what sort of resources were provided to them to undertake their studies. That includes things like academic support, language support, the things that PJ mentioned, just how many services are there to assist you. Student support, so things like our chaplain or our free counsellor or our library and other support services, resources that you can use to maximise the outcome. And then skills development. So basically, are we teaching you what you need to know in order to be an effective registered nurse? And yes, apparently across all of those categories, Avondale was #1 last year, and we are incredibly proud.
Very exciting results there. So guys, this afternoon we have talked to current students, we've talked to present staff and graduated students as well. The next step really is for you to become part of our Avondale experience and join us in our nursing degree program. Kerry and I are both Avondale graduates and are proud of the nursing degree that is provided. We've come back to feed into it for the next generation. And I love being a cancer nurse myself here on the Central Coast. I love hearing my colleagues excited when they get an Avondale nursing student partnered with them for the day. Avondale is a Christian caring environment and a really unique place to study your 3-year Bachelor of Nursing degree.
We are always happy to answer questions. You could send an email to Erin and I and we'll answer you, or you can drop into those pages that we've been sharing with you where you can ask questions specifically about studying at Avondale or the nursing program, and we'll follow up with you. As we mentioned earlier, applications are open. Just put in your name, give us your email address, and our team will follow up with you, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that we missed in the chat. We really look forward to seeing you, hopefully very soon, in the Avondale Nursing Program. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Take care, everyone, and enjoy the week ahead. Bye.